You have to manage your debt. Unless, of course, you work in Congress, in which case you can just ignore the problems you're creating because, well, you're 98 years old and you barely know what laws you're creating, so what do you care? Unfortunately, unlike politicians, you have to live with the consequences of your actions. So if you're dealing with debt, and especially high interest debt like credit cards, you need to handle that immediately if you ever want a chance to build wealth.
This is making you cry, you're making me cry. Life's hard enough as it is. You don't want to cry anymore.
I'm going to show you how you can use my guaranteed Venture Dave proprietary 3-pronged approach to start tackling your debt today. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get into it. Phase 1, organize your budget. In our previous video, we went over the process of creating a budget. Be sure to check out that video if you'd like some helpful information about building a budget correctly. Having a budget is absolutely critical when dealing with debt because every dollar that is not going towards paying down your debt is enabling that debt to accrue more and more interest. If you don't have one, you'll never be able to accurately track how much you're spending and how much you can afford to put towards your debt. And you'll likely just end up taking on more debt, which is like the opposite of what we're trying to do here. So if we pull up our budget from our previous video, I went ahead and added this section where we can add our debt. Basically, I've got the APR, the minimum payment, the balance. So just a real quick recap, I recommend you guys go check out the previous video if you're kind of confused about the budget. But the basic idea here is to balance your income and your expenses, or at least kind of map them out. So here I've mapped out what my income is. Right now I'm just saying, I've got a paycheck coming in, bringing in $3,300 a month. Right now, no additional income. And then I've listed out all my expenses here. And my expenses basically come from looking at these separate tabs. I've got one for the month of January and February for the time being. And basically what this is just me logging every single expense down. There's different categories for those expenses. And so here's kind of the summary of how much I'm spending in all of those different categories based off of what I've logged here every single day. Now I take the summary, I put it back here within this expenses section here, and you're going to see two different columns, a planned and an actual. And basically this actual are the numbers that I pulled from this previous tab. This is what I'm actually spending for that particular month. And the plan is basically me looking at that actual spend and saying, okay, do I need to make any adjustments to this? Should I change any of those numbers going forward? And so that's why some of these numbers on the plan are different than the actual. It's me saying, okay, I want to adjust my expenses in the future because I need to save more money, for example. And so basically, once you've added all of these in, including any expenses from the debt which we've just added, you're gonna see basically your total net income, and that's gonna be basically the difference between what you're spending and what you're bringing in. Once you've added up all your income and expenses, you're gonna see whether you're positive or negative. If you're positive, you have extra money coming in each month, and that means you will get out of debt if you stick to the plan and stop using your credit card. If you're negative, well, that's a problem, since you can't get out of debt if every month you're spending more than you earn, because math. And in this particular example, you'll see we actually have a negative balance. And this brings us to phase 2, optimize your cash flow. Starting with your earnings, we're going to focus on maximizing your income. As I said, if you have negative cash flow each month, that's bad. There's only 2 ways out: make more money or spend less. You need to do anything you can to maximize the amount of money you're bringing in, whether that's taking on more hours at work, finding a second job. I don't care if you have to sell your own children. What's that? Yeah, but that would work though. Okay, fine. Don't actually sell your children. But maybe, guys, come on. Find a way to bring in more money if you can. For example, let's say we go out and pick up a side job that brings in $300 extra each month. Next, cut down on all non-essential spending. If you're not used to this one's gonna hurt. You're going to go through every expense, determine if it's necessary, and cut back on anything you don't need. DoorDash? Don't even think about it. Netflix? Use a friend's account. Need to fill up gas? Siphon it out of your neighbor's car. What? Yeah, I'm trying. What do you want them to do? So in our previous video, I actually already went ahead and cut out some of the expenses here, but let's see what else we can cut out of our plan. So looking through here, travel, yep, not gonna happen while we have credit card debt. Gifts, yeah, sorry kids, Santa isn't real. And by doing that, what you see is that if we stick to this plan, I now have a surplus of $467 that I can use towards debt. Again, this is not looking at, I still have actual expenses that are higher, and so going forward, I need to stick to this plan, and I can log what my actual expenses are for February, for March, for April, going forward. But as of now, I'm spending more than I need to. If I stick to this plan, I will be saving money, and it's a matter of basically sticking to that plan going forward. And yeah, I get it. This is gonna suck, but quite frankly, paying 25% or more interest on a credit card will pretty much guarantee you're poor forever. So I guess you decide which one sucks more.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Now, if you've gone through your income and expenses and you're net positive each month, then you don't necessarily have to take such an extreme approach. But until you're cash flow positive, you should be cutting every expense that isn't keeping you alive and working. And when I say cash flow negative, I don't mean, those one-off months where your car broke down and you need to repair it. I get it. That's life. It happens. I'm talking if your basic month-to-month expenses are higher than what you bring in, then that's all hands on deck. I mean, that's DEFCON 1. There is no amount of budget magic that will fix your debt. So you either find a way to get cash flow positive, or you're gonna die poor. And so by making all of these changes to our budget, adjusting the plan, getting some more income, we can now see that we now have a planned additional $467 as a surplus coming in every single month. Again, our actual expenses, what we are spending currently is negative, but going forward with this new income, with this new adjusted income, and if we stick to this updated plan going forward, we will have $467, which we can put towards our debt. And that gets us to the third and final phase, employing our funds in the most efficient strategy to eliminate your debt. Rank your debt from the highest interest rate to the lowest. Include minimum payment, outstanding balance, and any relevant notes such as dates the interest rate may bump up. You're going to pay off your debts starting with the highest interest rate debt. Pay the minimum payment on all your other debts while focusing all extra money towards paying off the highest interest rate debt. Once that's taken care of, work your way down the list to the next highest interest debt, and so on. Focusing on the highest interest rate debt first ensures you're eliminating the debt that is costing you the most money. This is often referred to as the avalanche approach to paying debt. You'll likely also hear of the popular snowball method, which is paying off the smallest balance regardless of interest rate and working your way up, but this method is objectively worse. Some people like it because it makes them, feel good about getting rid of low balance debts, but quite frankly, we're not here to make you feel good. We're here to give you the most effective and financially efficient method to get rid of your debt. Anything else is just financially irresponsible, which doesn't make me feel good. But getting back to the task at hand, as long as you don't continue to take on more debt and you control your spending diligently with your budgeting plan, then eventually you will eliminate your debt. And that's it. That's the plan. If you stick to this three-pronged approach of organizing your finances, optimizing your cash flow, and attacking your debt, I guarantee you'll rid yourself of debt or your money back.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
So pull up your budget and get to work today to take back control of your finances and your life. If you want more foolproof advice to solve your money problems, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Venture on.